Hello and welcome. Thanks for coming back or tuning in for the first time. I wanted to bounce something off everybody that watches this that wants to chime in on this experience of buying and selling on reverb and descriptions maybe not being understood at the worst, or well written, or even honest, even worse than that. So, and first of all, I have this listed right now, July of 2024 on Reverb, and it is a great guitar. It sounds good. It plays good. There's nothing structurally wrong with it. It's got great pickups, but it's worn and it has some real blemishes that need to be disclosed and understood. And that didn't happen. That wasn't the case when I bought the guitar. And part of it's my fault, sure. I think that's true. But yeah, I want you guys to weigh in on this, because when you get a guitar that isn't fully pictured with what the problems are, or even kind of misleading what the description and or the looks of the guitar, it can be a disappointment and frustrating for the buyer, but also for the seller too, because you have to talk to this person that's unhappy with something that they purchased from you. So this one, for example, this is a signature T Les Paul, and the truss rod cover that comes stock with the signature T, it just has a big capital T on it. Now I think they might have come with blank truss rod covers too. Maybe not. Sometimes they do that with signature guitars, but probably not. But this one clearly had a standard truss rod cover on it, and this is not a Les Paul standard. I mean, they have different models. It's like if you put a standard truss rod cover on a Les Paul Studio, people are going to mistakenly think that they're looking at a standard just by something like that. So you got to be clear. This was also just listed as a Les Paul. In the description, he even called it a Les Paul standard. And that's just a no-no. That's not correct. It's important to be overly descriptive as a seller, and I do this. I try to magnify, amplify the issues with the guitar, if there are any, what the scratches are. And I also add extra. I said there are probably more issues and general play wear that aren't captured by the pictures, because sometimes it is hard to capture certain things, especially with finish issues. You got to get the right angle and the right lighting and stuff. So this one was described as having some odd staining on the front and the back. But that's all it said. And I think there are two issues with this guitar, finish-wise and looks-wise. So this is the staining. Now, what do you guys think this is? It's underneath the finish. I don't understand how this happened. And there's other spots on the guitar. It did not come out of Gibson factory like that. There's no way. Does something happen to it? Some kind of reaction to something, or I don't know what. But there is some staining, and on that the seller and I agreed. And here is another example. And the light. See, when you get this next picture of this section, it'll be clear what I'm talking about, because there are also some very strange finish scratches. It's almost like somebody took a Brillo pad or something to it. It's very odd, and the pattern isn't even like circular or even consistently, vertical or horizontal or whatever. And, I told the seller, I was like, hey, yeah, there's staining, but there's also these really strange finish scratches. Do you know how they happened? And he just said, well, this is the way I got it from the previous owner. He was saying that kind of thing. And okay, you don't know how it happened. That's fine. But it wasn't disclosed or pictured very well at all. You couldn't see these finish scratches. And so here's some more of the staining by the control knobs that we were looking at. So he was kind of I don't know, put off, it seemed like, by me asking these questions. So see, you can clearly see here, there's some finish scratches in that lower cutaway. It's not natural, and it wasn't in the pictures. And you could see by my other picture that it's easy to not show the finish imperfections like this. Now this is after I've taken some Novus number 2 polish and hand polished this a few times to see if I could smooth it out and make it better. And believe me, this is a lot better than it was when I got it. So polishing these scratches probably could be able to be polished out with some time and patience. I mean, it is nitro, so it should be pretty forgiving as far as getting those scratches to be more smooth anyway. But yeah, that's the whole thing with this, is I was asking questions after I bought the guitar, but if I would have seen pictures that showed these scratches, I would have asked about it before I bought it. Again, if you're a buyer, you don't want to be disappointed when you open up that case and you see things that you weren't expecting. And as a seller, you want to be more descriptive and more dramatic, maybe, right, about what the imperfections are of the guitar. So maybe when they open up, they say, oh, I guess it wasn't as bad as he said it was, or at least understanding that it is. And here's some more of that strange staining. This is at the top of the guitar, kind of where your arm rests, but it's not like arm wear. It's not like that. But, we kind of went back and forth, and I said, this wasn't in the pictures or description, and I think a partial refund is in order. This is what I'm asking. Do you guys agree with that? If you weren't privy to what the pictures and the description pointed out, I think compensation is fair, and I was very polite about it, and it's important. Be respectful. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I had hoped that he would give me the benefit of doubt. And here's the back. You can really see the scratches, and this one's kind of more back and forth and uniform, where something happened. What's your guess on what happened to this damn guitar? I don't know. I don't mind stuff like this. When I buy used guitars, and that's all I buy is used guitars, I don't mind chips, dings, dents, playwear. I'm not the mint perfectionist when it comes to guitars. They're meant to be played, and if somebody got a head start on that, that's great. It doesn't bother me at all, as long as they're not structural or playing issues. And this guitar has no issues at all, really, except for these cosmetic deficiencies. But it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth about the guitar. I wanted to love it. I love this finish. They haven't made a finish like this before or after. And I just love the white Les Paul. It's really striking to me, especially with the transparent finish where you can see the really great flame top on this. And here, again, you can see the scratching and discoloration here in this picture, which is the back, what we were just magnifying in on. And he was like, yeah, sure, how much you want? Just kind of smarmy about it, I guess. I don't know. Like I was holding him hostage, and this happens all the time, and I'm a bad buyer trying to rip him off. The price of the guitar was fair. It was a fair price, but my contention is it was not disclosed. And so when I got this and I was looking at the finish, I was like, what the heck? But as a seller, I've run into those things too, where I feel like people are being overly picky about things. Not often, because again, I try to be really descriptive, and I say, if it's a mint guitar, I call it very good. I rate it underneath what it should be too, just to make sure that the expectations are set there. And this was disclosed, but there's more discoloration in the finish that you can see there. Maybe it was at the factory and it kind of ran or something, because it's underneath the nitro. I don't know. And the chip, that's fine. I had no problem with that. No problem at all. And here's a little magnification on the side of the guitar where some of that. Now, again, these don't have the finish scratches, just this staining phenomenon. So, I just said, you know what, forget about it. I'll keep the guitar. I almost returned it. But I wanted to give the guitar a chance. Every time I pick this thing up, I think about that negative bad transaction, and it's kind of stuck to the guitar, and it irritates me. So be respectful, give people the benefit of the doubt, be reasonable, be fair. when you're out there buying and selling. When you're buying, ask a lot of questions and get photos if you can, you know. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves now.